Many believe it's too much work to eat healthy. Are you one of them? Welcome to the Eat Plants, Feel Whole podcast, a program designed to help you harness the healing power of plants and transform your health. My name is Todd Chobatar. I'm your host. I serve as publisher and editor-in-chief at Advent Health Press. Today, we're talking to lifestyle medicine specialist Dr. George Guthrie about his book, Eat Plants, Feel Whole. Welcome, Dr. Guthrie.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Dr. Guthrie, there are many of us that believe that trying to eat healthy is just a lot of work. In fact, more work than it is to eat not so healthy.
You know, it's a very good question, and the nutritionists feel that this is important. We've seen published articles, for example, saying it's actually cheaper to eat unhealthy than it is to eat healthy. And there's been some argument about that. When one looks at it from a calorie standpoint, that's true. But if one looks at it from a serving size, eating healthy is actually less expensive. If you stop to think about it, rice and beans are good plant that are very inexpensive and tend to provide excellent nutrition. So when one gets those in bulk and prepares them, it can actually be cheaper to use the fruit, vegetables, and whole grains than it is meat.
Well, and that's a good thing, of course, just from a pocketbook perspective. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about preparation, because there are many who might think, like me, that maybe it's a lot more work to be able to prepare a healthy plant-based meal. In your experience, true, not true, sometimes, not always?
Well, to be clear, I'm not the cook at my house, okay? And I've had some education in this and have enjoyed learning about kind of the science of food preparation, so I'm not completely ignorant about it. But from a practical standpoint, eating a plant-based diet, a healthy diet, is not something that has to be difficult or expensive. So, how have we done it at our house? Maybe that's kind of a practical way of doing it. People complain about, it takes too much time to prepare, etc. And then the expense. So how have we done it? At my house, really, for years. My wife has a couple of these kind of Tupperware plates with divisions in them. So we get up in the morning, and I help her with breakfast preparation, peeling the fruit. One of us will get the oatmeal on, so we're kind of getting the usual nuts and grains and fruit ready for consumption. And then the pots will be put on for some vegetable, usually a legume, a bean of some kind, a grain such as rice or potatoes, carrots, greens. Just getting those things cooked and ready. And then they're put in these kind of round microwavable dishes, one for her and one for me, right? We head off for work. I get to work, put mine in the refrigerator. If she's working at home, she'll put it in the refrigerator there. If she's working at work, she puts it in the refrigerator there. When time to eat comes, we go get it, put it in the microwave, and eat it. And, we've talked in previous podcasts about this concept of maybe leaving off supper.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's what we've come kind of doing at our house for years. So that's actually not a lot of time. We've got that preparation in the morning. So the lunch meal is pretty much taken care of, and then there's no evening meal. That's good, healthy, plant-based eating with a minimal amount of work. We do a little bit together, maybe 30 minutes or so in the morning. Yes, there's some dish cleanup when we get home because it may not have been cleaned at work, right? So
sure.
Clean it off at home. But mealtime preparation is actually minimal. It's healthy, and because it's whole foods, then it's much less expensive than all the money and effort that goes into preparing animal products.
Now, I like the fact that as you're giving us kind of that sequence of events that happens in your home, so that sounds like a good scenario for when you have to head off to work or school or something like that. So you're kind of planning a meal on the go. Now, some of us, and by us, I actually probably should not say me, but
that's fine.
But some that really enjoy cooking and they like to do up a kind of a nice gourmet meal. Maybe it would be in the evening, maybe to be on a weekend, maybe it's for a special family event. Is it a lot more difficult to be able to create, or am I limiting my options if I'm sticking to a whole food plant-based diet? If I want to prepare kind of fancier meals, let's say.
Someone might think that when you say gourmet and plant-based, these are non sequiturs. They don't fit together. But the truth is, when you look at plants, textures, flavors, colors, there's a lot more variety in plants than there are in muscle. Right? And most of the meat we eat is muscle, whether it comes from a fish or a cow or a pig or a chicken, it's still muscle. And yes, it may have slightly different flavors, but the truth is it's pretty dead without kind of adding other kinds of flavors. You need your barbecue sauce. Without the barbecue sauce, it just tastes the same as everything else. So there's a lot available. As a matter of fact, there's a lot more and more of these professional chefs who are really getting into preparing the plants in a special way. I don't know if you've tried it. I've been told, I have patients, for example, who have gone plant-based, gone on the ship, and they go to the restaurant and said, have the chef prepare me a nice vegan meal, something that's 100% plants. And what comes back is often better. And everybody else said, man, I wish I could have that too. Because the chef enjoys that. That meat stuff gets pretty boring after a while from a chef's standpoint, at least from what I hear. So the plants have a lot of variety, and some really enjoy working on that. Restaurants, I imagine, are about the same.
Well, yeah, and in fact, I've noticed in the hometown that I live in Orlando, Florida, there are more and more restaurants that are catering to a plant-based diet, sometimes with whole menu choices, and sometimes whole restaurants that are choosing to go that
That's
way.
correct.
There's an increasing number of them here in kind of my adopted home city.
I think that's true across the country. I mean, I can't speak for beef country in the middle states, but I know that there's a growing interest in that.
Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about if I needed to make some special preparation, not just in the morning, but you've mentioned to me personally when we were going through and talking about the book, that it's possible to do some special weekend preparation
Sure.
that can help make it a little bit easier going during the week when things might be a bit more rushed.
Sure, when things are rushed, if you have time on the weekend, and especially if someone like you who enjoys cooking, well, put together the menus for the week and do your special cooking. Things can drop into the freezer or the refrigerator to be used on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that makes it really easy. If you have the dishes, everything is prepared. It's just a matter of taking a serving size and putting it into a lunch bag and then going. So great way to kind of plan out. By the way, it really helps people to eat healthier when they do their planning a week at a time. That's something I recommend to people who are having a hard time kind of making choices. You decide to go to the grocery store. You make up your menu, healthy menu. You go to the grocery store when you're not hungry, right? You buy the things that you need. You put it together and prepare, and it's actually the easiest way to eat then, because it's pick up and go, and it's not taking a lot of time through the week.
One of the things that I've found too that's been beneficial as I've tried to transition more and more to a whole food plant-based diet, is to be able to have a few things in my own mind. I've kind of called it my kind of emergency kit. So
tell me about it.
Well, some of the things that I do on a day-by-day basis, you can get busy during the day and sometimes miss the right time to be able to eat or, something
that
like
happens to some of us.
So I found it beneficial to have a couple of things on hand that are a quick go-to so that I don't automatically go, oh, wait, I'm hungry right now. Where's the nearest vending machine?
Yes.
And to their credit, some vending machines are starting to include some healthier options. But by and large, it's a little harder to make that choice if I've got a candy bar in there right next to a bag of nuts or something like that.
Even if the healthy stuff's there's still a choice to be made.
There's still the choice
right.
to be made. So I've found that first of all, just little packages of nuts, that have been prepackaged together. You can often get them at grocery stores or many online retailers have them, and you can buy them in bulk so that you've got them. But they're nice. They're 100 to 150 calories. Often they're fresh or raw nuts, and they're perfect to just kind of go. Oh wait, I don't have an apple handy or something, so I can grab that. But speaking of an apple is another great thing that I like to have in that emergency kit. Because I've found that if I wash an apple up in advance, just put it in like a little Ziploc bag or something I don't even cut it up, just keep it as a whole apple. You can actually carry that around with you in a little bag or something like that for a week or more. And it usually stays just fine. Some of that depends on the variety of the apple that you choose, but it makes a great kind of go-to snack to have it right there. I've also found that increasingly there are little packs that you can get. Now, this is whole food, but it is a little bit processed, but it's minimally processed. But you can sometimes get little fruit or vegetable packages that have little twist-off tops, and then you can, take that with you. Frankly, those are great if you're going out and doing some outdoor exercise, too. So if you're going out hiking or biking or something like that, often...
plan for a healthy snack.
Exactly, but that's the idea. Plan for a healthy snack. Assume that there are going to be some times when life just gets busy and you're not going to be fully prepared with a meal there, and you may miss that meal time and then go, whoa, wait a minute, what am I going to do? And so instead of reaching for the unhealthy option or something,
You're pointing out the importance of planning.
Yeah.
And snacks, while I wouldn't recommend them on a regular basis, sometimes you need something like that, and to plan ahead is a very reasonable thing to do. I like it.
It's a nice little emergency kit option, as I like to think of it. So, Dr. Guthrie, your biggest takeaway for me in this episode, what would you say your best summary is on this point of quick and easy?
Plan ahead and plan to eat quick and easy. If you plan ahead, it's easy to prepare quickly.
Okay. And you actually have a resource that you offer for free that folks can have access to. I have your book here, Eat Plants, Feel Whole, and in the back there's this bonus section, but these bonuses are all available online for anyone who wants to go to eatplantsfeelwhole.com. And the free offering that you have there is a shopping list. And so this is a great list, actually broken out into different categories of some great whole food plant-based options that we could go to, that we could print this list out, have it handy, or you can keep it on your phone or tablet device if you take that with you when you go shopping. So that you have some good options to be able to pick from.
I would point out that the recipes in the book are also healthy, and we've tried to keep them quite simple. And of course, the shopping list goes well with those, just to try to make life a little bit easier.
Yeah, and that's important when you're trying to make any kind of a transition.
That's right.
How do we make it easy as opposed to more complex?
That's right.
So these are some great tools. Dr. Guthrie, thank you so much for your time today.
It's a pleasure.
You've been listening to the Eat Plants, Feel Whole podcast, a limited edition 15-part series designed to help you harness the healing power of plants and transform your health. I've been your host, Todd Chobatar. You'll find links to the resources that we talked about in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to find out more about Dr. Guthrie and his work, please visit him at eatplantsfeelwhole.com. And if you'd like to discover other great resources to help you feel whole in mind, body, and spirit, please visit us online at adventhealthpress.com. And while you're there, feel free to sign up for our newsletter where you'll receive free healthy living tips, leadership wisdom, and also some regular giveaways. Thank you so much for joining us today.